Hello everyone, time to review Azura. I'm somehow in time before the stream, so that's fun. For those who actually don't know, I'm actually going to be streaming my Summon on the Legendary banner. The goal will be obviously to plus 10 Legendary Hector. I don't care about Azura enough. And yeah, we'll see from there. So, Azura. Oh boy, Azura. Why? So, before we start talking about the character, I do want to just put yourself in my shoes. We had 3 slots left for a legendary hero. FE4, FE5, FE6, and to some extent FE10 did not have any representation. By FE10, I mean legendary Micaiah, obviously. We had Ike, but I mean, 1 unit for 2 games is kind of silly, but oh well, moving on. So that's 3.5, I guess. Game that have no representation. What did IS decide? Let's release our 2nd Fate Royal character and 5th version of said character. Wow. That's already a nice start, isn't it? Then they decide to also give a dual skill to her. And a 400 SP dance unique skill. What? And on top of it, oh yeah, let's make a weapon that can buff every stat by 7, because on attack 7 is getting... Oh, attack 7. On attack 4 is being released in, I don't know, 2-3 days? I see nothing wrong with that. Nope, nothing at all. Are you serious? So, yeah, you can already tell this is kind of a disaster, but... Alright, let's see what Grey Wave does. Oh, grants another action to target ally, and if target is an infantry or flying ally, they become cavalry that does not get hindered whatsoever by... How do you call those fucking things? Trenches. Great. Great. I'm glad to see that's a thing. Yes, I can't wait. How about you also release a flying Reinhardt with Dire Thunder ++? Just so you can have a new cash cow, I guess. Just why? The worst part is the fact that you can just basically have a melee unit move 2 square. Then you have fucking legendary Lucina using future vision, pushing the melee unit behind. Then killing one of your unit, possibly, because that's already a fucking 5 movement, and then on top of that, Azura danced the melee unit, and it has an extra 3 range. Fucking why? You have to realize, a mage flyer can now target the entire map in 1 turn. This is asinine. And the worst part about it is not the fact that, you know, she has this skill and this weapon. The fact that makes it really obnoxious is the fact that she's a ranged dancer. You see, if she was melee, you could potentially make her move first before legendary Lucina. This breaks a lot of combo down, which is definitely welcome, at least in the end of the AI. At the end of the player, let's not get into this. This is a fucking disaster. The point is, because she's ranged, she moves after melee units, which means that the AI fucks you over, essentially. I would have honestly preferred her to be a melee type. Did you think I was going to say this about a fucking dancer? No, not really, but the fact remains, if that was the case, this would totally salvage a lot of things that makes this broken. Honestly, this unit, without Grey Waves, would just sing, would already be good enough to be a legendary unit. I don't know why they decided, oh yeah, let's slap Grey Wave on top of it. That just feels unnecessary and salt-worthy, I suppose. Prayer Wheel being able to break Erder is fine, or Scold also. I don't care about it being better than those skills because I'm gonna be honest, those things were not good to begin with. 3 in all stats, when you can just run own attack, own speed, seal, was very pointless in a lot of ways. This, at the very least, means that, well, you can actually get a solid buff out of it. So the fact that you have to move first becomes less of a problem, which means it's good for other unit than fucking tanks. So, yeah, it's a good thing. The problem I have is really Grey Waves, that's too much, and B dual flying, making the fact that it's a range unit completely irrelevant. I do kinda like the fact that now we have the merge thing that's happening, removing Banes or giving +1 in every stats if the unit is neutral, +1 to every, well, not every stat, to the 3 highest stats at level 1. I want to make this clear because otherwise, for example, Evelyn would get 1 HP attack speed, instead she gets 1 HP speed res. Yes, her lowest stat is her 3rd highest stat at level 1. Don't ask me why, this is stupid. This is actually stupid. She should be getting the extra point in attack instead of res, but that's the way I has decided to go about it, which is a shame really, because she could have definitely used the boost, but oh well. It does also make certain unit like Legiar not necessarily better than Finn, which is a good thing. I guess it was just a stroke of luck, but Legiar does not get a boost in attack, she gets a boost in HP, speed, and death. Whereas Finn gets a boost in HP, attack, and speed. So Finn is better offensively down the line because you don't need all that much speed. You already can hit a lot of speed really easy with that kind of stat spread and Brazen's. But Legiar on the other end is less fortunate on the damage department. Also for the fact that Heavy Blade will be less consistent for her than Finn by 3 points, which is definitely more worth mentioning. Anyway, enough about this. So yeah, she's a really strong unit, but for all of the wrong reason. It really feels like IS, when they try new things, they kinda don't think before acting. They just decide, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this. It's new, it's innovative, it's gonna be cool. And then they fail to realize that Aether Raid with this shit on the enemy side is fucking obnoxious as hell. Aerobatic also is fucking annoying, to say the least. Let me put it in the way you'll understand. Someone breaks, oh, I don't know, someone hits the thunder tile and then just fucks off because that was most of their health. Okay, then they healed it back. Alright. That's neat. So, what happens? Oh, you have a healer, the healer goes to heal, your dancer can't reach the healer, so it usually dies because you are not aggressive at that point. Well, if you have aerobatics, you can still dance it because you just basically do a movement that would require you 4 movement, but you just teleport to the unit. Yeah, that's busted. It's kind of annoying on a dancer, but it's even more annoying with the fact that if said unit has a buff of any kind, it gets quadded. So like say Veronica has +6 in attack def. This is from my own team comp in Aether Raids, but that would basically just jump up to fucking 6 in all stats, and she gets to move again while targeting the entire map. Yeah, you get the idea. So you can't approach whatsoever. If you step on a thunder tile in that kind of scenario, you're losing a unit. Straight up. Kind of nasty. Oh, and, you know, if it's a 2-range healer, well, it gets 3 now. Fucking yay. Razzle dazzle, baby. It's pretty obnoxious, to say the least. So, let's move to the comparison. Surprising no one, she is just a straight-up great Ninian. The only thing Ninian really has is the extra HP and an extra death point. Also 3 res, but that really doesn't matter down the line. Unless you run Mystic Boost for whatever reason, which, eh. Thankfully, since Banes are gone, you don't really have to care about what Bane you go for if you're going to plus 10 the unit. Obviously, res minus is better. If you're just going to go for 1 copy, if you have res minus, that's probably the best Bane you can get. The best boon is... honestly, that depends. Because if you run Blade Tome, Speed Plus is obviously better. If you don't, Attack Plus will typically do you more. But at the end of the day, she's a dancer, and the most of her utility is behind her weapon and her assists. So IVs are not really that consequential. I'd say she's definitely worth pulling just because of that, but still. This is cancer. Hopefully it's not going to be that bad, but honestly the fact that flyers can now get up to, well, 2 from the movement and 3 from the movement again, then attack range of 2 because they're mages, and the fact that she's a mage, she tends to go after them, that's nasty. That's 7 attack range with a potential Blade Tome plus 6 to all stats. Fucking yay. Or, oh hey, Lucina getting plus 6 in every stats with that kind of attack and speed, totally not obnoxious. Fucking why? But, oh well. So, she's straight up better than Ninian. When it comes down to Blade Tome, obviously Camilla's better, and she has better bulk overall. Having her bulk at the right spot, unlike her. 6 more health is definitely very noticeable to hit Desperation. So as a Blade Tome, she's very shaky to say the least. 50 bulk is aberrant, really. And Camilla has more defense than res, which is good because def is more relevant than res nowadays. So yeah, Camilla will be a better Blade Tome, but when it comes down to dancers, Azura is not the best dancer in the game, I'd say. Not always, anyway. She's gonna be one of the top 3 for sure. I still consider Olivia to be better consistency-wise, but it really comes down to what it is. Because as a unit, she's extremely fragile. She's extremely glass cannon-y, except she doesn't really have much of a cannon unless you run Blar Blade. So... that's about it. Let's move to talking about the banner itself. Now, the banner is surprisingly really good. Though, I'm gonna be honest, let's go by color. Flora sucks. She is the worst unit of this banner, hands down. While she does have a good color, a good weapon, a decent stat line to use said weapon, the problem is she relies too much on said weapon. If the unit doesn't have DC, she doesn't have follow-ups. And if she doesn't have follow-up, she's basically worthless. Because she ain't killing shit. Even greens are able to take a hit safely, then fuck her up on the enemy turn, or just... you need a dancer to even score kills against greens? Come on, man. This is inconsistent at best, but there's one good part about this, and it's the fact that Flora has Attack Res Solo. Attack Res Solo is absolutely fantastic. She also has Quick Repose 3 if you want to avoid 20k feathers, but honestly I'd keep just for the solo. She also has Death Ploy, but Artis has that, so eh. She's great fodder. As a unit though, don't bother. I'm gonna be honest, don't bother. Next up is Tiki. Tiki is absolutely insane. She is one of the best red units of this game, especially for the fact that she hits res. But the fact that she has a steady breath in her breath, yeah, I guess it's kind of redundant, but the point is, if she runs Ignis, you attack her, she attacks you, she has enough speed to block you from attacking again. She procs Ignis. Bolt Fighter will screw her over because she can't run no follow-up, however. But even then, with her attack def bond, which is her base A slot, and a few buffs, she can easily tank Bolt Fighter. And if they are stuck with Aether, well, tough luck to them, they're dead. Effective against Dragon also means she one-shots Grima pretty consistently, which is definitely welcome. So, yeah, very, very good unit. If I'm being honest, I'd say she's even the best of the red category, but Marth is also a legendary unit, so there's that. Speaking of Marth, next up, let's talk about Marth. Marth is a really, really solid red unit. A lot of people, I've heard people say he's better than Ira. I completely disagree. Marth is a bit of a generalist. That does not make him bad, but it means he does multiple things, and the fact that he does multiple things combined is a great thing. As a unit, though, it's extremely shaky. Ira can run the Slaying Wrath set, which makes her a specialist duelist, for lack of a better term. What I mean by this is she can proc Ragnalastra twice in a row and kill units she should not, by any stretch of the imagination, be able to kill. I've killed a Brave Actor. I know a lot of people on my Discord have seen this already, but I've killed a Brave Actor who was sitting on the death tile. It's also on my YouTube, actually, now that I think about it. And my base damage was 3. Fucking 3 times 2 turning into 31 times 2 because of the special. Marth cannot do this. Marth will be doing less damage per hit because it's 30% instead of 40%, so yikes. Still, his weapon is really interesting, which also means he can't run Slaying Edge, otherwise he just loses a lot of buffs, which sucks. It synergizes really well with Fire Emblem, but the problem with it is, if you're dealing with Panic, like Panic Ploy, this can fuck you up in the long run in certain maps, so be careful of that. Still, considering he basically copies Ira's stat line, and you all know how I feel about Ira, I consider her stat line to be quite literally one of the best for the red pull, outside of armored units. Honestly, actually, outside of armored unit and obviously mages, I would probably say Ira has the best stat line, period. There's a reason why Ira's stat line has been copied for Owain and Marth. Let's just put it that way. That's just because it is so damn good. Moving on to blue. So, also, just to finish, red is really good to summon, but Flora is a bit of a pain. If you want attack res solo, however, it's a fantastic color, hands down. Anyway, next up for blue, Camilla. Quite literally the best blue flying mage outside of Azura, but Azura is mostly because of utility. If you're going for straight up damage, Camilla is just better. No questions there. So, really fantastic Blade Tome, good defense to be able to take hits, able to actually use Desperation unlike Azura. Just overall a fantastic unit. Next up is Fjorm. Fjorm is pathetic. She does have Attack Def Bond Fodder, which is the best bond, personally, which is great. It helps her a lot in the long run, which is definitely welcome. But the unit, well, it helps you a lot in the long run, which is definitely welcome. But the unit itself is shaky at best. You need to get her to +10 if you really want to use her effectively in Arena. And even then, Surtur now exists, which kinda invalidated her entire life. Because the whole point was so you had a bonus unit for Fjorm Week, which was great. Because on top of that, she was a legendary unit and she kept coming back. But how do you feel about dealing with Surtur for 5 matches in a row with a fucking Fjorm? Not great, I feel. Yep, sounds about right. Because at that point, you'll probably be running Brash Desperation to break Wary Fighter with Brazen and like fucking Drive Attack at this point 8. Oh, it is ridiculous how horrible of a unit she is, but it is kind of what it is. Azura, of course, we already spoke about her. She is by far the best unit of this banner. If you wish to plus 10 her, she's definitely great as is, because she can actually score the same as Zelgus, although after the BST shift from merges, which was actually the whole reason why I was talking about merges, Zelgus will jump up to 176 BST, so he will be able to score more than Azura. As a matter of fact, Zelgus will score the same as Legendary Hector, outside of course, Blessings. So that kind of reduced the impact of dual skills, which is definitely welcomed. It means unit like Summer Tiki will now hit 170 base scores, so 170 BST baseline. So, if you have Red Dual Flyer and you want to give it to Tiki, fucking don't. You're getting absolutely nothing from this, since it's 170 or higher BST, which exactly is what she would have post first merge, so kinda pointless at that time, isn't it, hey? Besides, you should be using that on a Versa if you're going to do this on any Red Flyer, or Elysian Elysian Traveler Olivia. So, yeah, pretty solid. Well, I don't even want to say solid color, because unless you care about attack dev bond, Fjorm is a straight bad pull. Or shield pulse, I suppose, but nah. She does also have drive attack. That's honestly one of her best fodder, and one of the best fodder in general. But yeah, it's kind of mediocre, to say the least. Camilla has own flyers also. Thought it was worth mentioning, because own flyer is always a pain in the ass to get. So yeah, next up, green. Oh boy, green. It is such a good color. I'm happy I'm going to be selling it for 1,200 orbs on this banner, because I'm going for Hector, obviously, and green is a fan-fucking-tastic color. I love El Bindi. He's a great character. Nino is also pretty solid. My Nino is +3, so she might actually walk out of there at +10, which would be insane. And if I get a spare, well, spoiler alert, when Gunther will come back on the legendary banner, I'm going to try to +10 her, so that's gonna be pretty dope. But the point behind it is that this Nino right here, yeah, she has a aerobatic, I think that's how you pronounce it. Sorry, my French is my first language, okay? So those words are difficult to speak, because her B slot is pronounced aérobatic in French. Same word, same spelling, but that's how we say it, and it fucks me over. It's really difficult for me to say it, so But it's a really good B slot. She also has Swift Sparrow, again, really good skill, and Speed Smoke for whatever reasons, which no one cares, so Hellbindi has Green Dual Infantry, which already there is insane. And also Infantry Pulse and Guard, but Guard is kind of easily available. And Infantry Pulse, well, Marisa exists if you really, really need it, unless you really want to just +10 Marisa, which, yeah, okay, that can be pretty useful. But mostly, he's going to be used for Green Dual Infantry. He's a very solid unit, and so is Nino. Nino is absolutely ridiculous. I'm actually happy because my +3 Nino is speed plus HP minus. The fact that Banes are gone means that I'm going to have 36 HP and 17 death baseline. And because of the merges, well, that 53 bulk with 56 with Fury will, well, jump up. So I might be able to switch back to Swift Sparrow, which is definitely welcomed. So, yeah, that's cool. Obviously, if you get res minus, that's our optimal Bane for now. After a while, the Bane is just going to be irrelevant anyway. Attack minus speed plus, ha! Just merge it once and it is now optimal. So, you get the idea. Hellbindy is also a hell of a fucking tank. It's basically Sheena with 2 movement that can also buff its entire party by 4 null stats. Definitely a really good weapon. And here we are with Hector. Now, Hector usually needs attack plus, HP minus, speed minus, or death minus. You have to realize IVs don't matter anymore. He hits 175 to 179 BST regardless after you merge him once. Though keep in mind that's only gonna happen in February, so yeah, there's that. Still, at the end of the day, really good unit. The fact that now it doesn't really matter what kind of IVs I go with. I will say I'll still go for attack plus. That juicy 64 baseline attack is more than welcome, to say the least. And besides, he already has enough defense as is. So, yeah. Moving on to colorless, and kind of shallow for a pool, but I mean, at the very least, Air has good fodder. Swift Sparrow again. How many characters have Swift Sparrow on this banner? Freaking hell, there's 3. Okay, well. Air is probably the worst unit of colorless this time around, easily. There's no comparison you can make. She is the worst unit of the bunch. Now, I guess she can also help for it with AR scoring, but that's kind of all there is to it. Mystic Boost is a really good B slot for tanks, so they can keep their bulk up. Also to lower some damage from, you know, razzle dazzle bullshit, which is definitely welcomed. Honestly, Mystic Boost, the main issue is that it's a B slot, so most mages that could gain from this can't really use it. The fact that it's in the B slot means, well, I'm shit out of luck because I lose desperation, which means that the fact that I get that it's easier for me to live and hit the threshold in which I would use desperation becomes fucking useless. If anything, I hope that this B slot becomes a seal quickly, because if it does become a seal, oh baby, that would open so many possibilities. But as is, it's just shaky. Now, what about the rest? Veronica is obviously the best of the two. I don't think I have to explain how fucking much of a pest she is. Just literally play the game and you'll realize how much of a pest she is to deal with. Really good unit. Her weapon is fucking broken. Moving on. Takumi. Boy oh boy, Takumi. He is, if you're talking from an offensive standpoint, he is by far the best archer of this game, outside of possibly Jacob. The problem with Jacob is he lacks movement. Takumi can run aerobatics, he can run so many more things, and also is not locked to running Bold Fighter. The thing that makes Bold Fighter so frustrating to run is that you can't combo it into anything, basically. Unless you run Fishy Bow, which... Don't. It's a neat idea, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really do anything for you unless you run Moonbow, then you proc Moonbow. Whoop-de-doo. It doesn't do enough. Honestly, at that point, just run Brave Bow. It's gonna do you better, boy. Way better. Because you'll get to go for another 2 arrows right after. At the cost of 5 attack, that's fucking nothing. But yeah, Takumi is insane. If you're going to want movement and damage, he's your boy. And also, unlike Bright Cordelia, tanking a hit becomes pretty easy, sorry. 61 bulk against melee, 59 bulk against magic. Wow, that's already really solid. Honestly, He's the type of unit that, on top of it, 45 flyers is easy to get. So 67, 65 bulk for both of them. This means a attack plus 10 Hector cannot one-shot a death buffed Takumi whatsoever. He has enough bulk to run life and death. Obviously that's gonna get him killed by some unit like the one I just mentioned, but it makes him absolutely ridiculous when it comes down to damage. Boy, oh boy, it's actually ridiculous. By far, if I'm being completely honest, if I'm going by my logic, and by what makes a unit very dangerous, Takumi is easily the most powerful archer of the game right now, if I'm being completely honest. And you know I love my archers. Which, speaking of, Jamkey now has 37-33 as his base offensive stat line after his merge. That's insane! That's absolutely insane. But yeah, to reiterate, Colorless is the best archer and the best healer of this game, and then the dagger unit, that's kind of forgettable. Green is great all around. Red is great all around if you care for attack res solo. If you don't care for attack res solo, it's good but not great. Blue is, again, pretty good but not great because Camilla and Azura are both amazing, but Fjorm is sticking like a sore thumb. Green is the only color that has no unit that stick like a sore thumb. The worst part about Fjorm is the fact that Azura is a water-blessed unit. Fjorm is a water-blessed unit, so unless you want to deploy both of them at the same time to score higher, it's not worth it. But, you know, that's kind of all I have to say. Pretty good banner overall. Actually, really good banner overall. Just, you know, it's mostly greens. I'm kind of happy because that's 2 legendary in a row that has like units I really like alongside them. I just hope the next banner has Quan with legendary Tiki, which, by the way, my legendary Tiki was P plus def minus, so 179 BST. Yo boy is pretty happy right now because my Tiki is now optimal. At least down the line. So, yeah. That's all I had to say. The last banner was also fantastic. For those who don't know, or just don't follow my Twitch, I pulled 8 Leviatane, 9 Rid, and 6 Ryomas. So I plus 6 my legendary Ryoma, plus 8 my Rid, and plus 10 my Leviatane. The last merge for Leviatane was literally my last pull, so that was sick. That was pretty sick. But yeah, that's kind of all I have to say here. For those who want to see me summon, that's in literally 90 minutes, at least at the time of this video. It's 8:23 AM, okay? S time. At 10 AM S time, I'm going to be summoning. So, if you are curious, just go on my Twitch in the description, I guess. So yeah, have a nice one, y'all.